All right, welcome back. Up next, we have Javon McKinley on the stage. We're going to start with Josh Allen from the Bucks Report.
Hey, Javon, how are you doing?
Doing good. About yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Just want to ask you: has there been anyone that you've kind of leaned on in this process throughout the pro day and the pre-draft visits, whether it be former players, coaches, someone that's kind of guided you through this? And then the second question is: have you had any communication with the Buccaneers so far during the pre-draft process? Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry. In the first question, did you say lean on?
Yes, who did you lean on?
Who did I lean on? Okay. Yeah. So really, my facility, my trainers, I was in Carlsbad and Exos. Was leaning on my personal trainer there, Roy Holmes, the medical staff, and then a little bit of knowledge from Lance Moore. He was the receiver coach out there. So I leaned on their knowledge for the majority of the time there. I also talked to my personal receiver coach I have back in Orange County in California. Talked to him a little bit, just the process, what I need to work on, just as he's watched some of my film as well. And I've talked to the Bucks once during this process.
Up next, we're going to go to Andre Robinson. Go ahead with your question.
Good afternoon. Congratulations, Javon McKinley, on your pro day, my guy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My question is, what special attributes that you had in college do you think will translate to the NFL to make you a successful NFL player?
Most of the attributes that I possess right now, my physical build, speed down the field, catching radius, route running ability, blocking ability, just my physical size, I think compares to a number of receivers in the NFL right now that are major contributors. So I think just given that I possess some of the same attributes that I could be a major contributor early on.
Andre, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I have another side question. My question is to everybody who's watching you. There's young folks that's looking up to you right now. What advice are you giving them as they might want to be Javon McKinley?
I would say do your homework, work hard in school, and work even harder on the field.
Perfect. Once a reminder that use the raise hand function, and we'll get a question lined up. Next question is going to come from Tim O'Malley. Go ahead.
Javon, what was a combine-specific thing you decided you needed to work on over the last 2 months to prepare for this week?
Combine-specific?
For instance, Javon, in the past, Drew Tranquil kind of told us, hey, I need to improve my 40 time for that day, and he really focused on that. Did you have something along those lines?
No, I didn't have anything particularly I wanted to work on before. Just overall getting to a point where I'm getting the above average times. Like I said, so 40, just to use your example as well. Working on my starts. Overall, I believe I have a great speed. I can run down the field faster than most other guys, but my starts, I'd say, is where I had to work the most on for my 40, and then just lateral movement stuff. Staying low throughout the whole drill is something that I had to work on a little bit more, but I definitely am looking forward to running some great times on Wednesday.
Next question is going to come from Tyler James.
Javon, the last couple of years, Notre Dame's bigger receivers have had some pretty impressive combine performances. Obviously, you'll be doing it at a pro day. Do you have some surprises in store for us on Wednesday?
Just watch me on the 40, shuttle drill, L drill, and just watch me run some routes and catch the ball.
Tyler, do you have a follow-up?
No, sorry.
All right. Next question is going to come from Matthias Ornelas.
Javon, Mateus from Chima, Brazil. Congratulations for going for the NFL draft.
Thank you.
You talk a little bit about your qualities and the good stuff you do in the field. But what do you think is your main quality that you're bringing for the NFL and maybe make you different than the other wide receivers?
My main quality that makes me different than the other receivers would I'd say my run blocking. Run blocking, not all receivers are for it. And even though watching the film from the beginning of this past year, we weren't passing it too much. I don't even think I recorded a catch till the fourth game. But if you also watch those first 4 games, I have probably around 6 to 7 run blockings that led to touchdowns.
And just a quick follow up. And what the NFL scouts have talked to you about, like that you have to do you have to develop, or stuff you need to be a little better for, like maybe uh, have more stock draft or having a shot on the NFL?
The primary thing I've gotten from the collection of teams I've talked to, the suddenness and quickness off releases on the line is the most common topic. But also another topic is the gift and attributes that I possess physically. Like I mentioned earlier, those are, like I said, on par with some of the receivers that are in the NFL right now, so that I could come in and be an early contributor as a first year in the NFL.
Once again, please raise your hand if you have a question. Otherwise, we will do last call for questions. All right, we'll go to Frank Carr next.
Javon, you mentioned a little earlier you probably didn't see a ton of targets early in the season. I guess 2 parts. Well, the first is how hard is it to stand out in an offense like that as a receiver? And secondly, do you feel like you're kind of a hidden gem because of that? There's more to give, there's more to your game that you can do than you were asked to do at Notre Dame.
I feel like to just the normal eye, it's probably harder to stand out. But when you got people who really watch football, especially who I want to watch me, the NFL coaches, of course, they're definitely seeing me contribute those blocks that are leading to touchdowns or big runs, first downs, and everything like that. And then also, I'm sorry, could you repeat the second part of your question? Oh, sorry, I recall now. Sorry, the hit 'em gen part. I do think so. Just for the normal crowd, I would seem like a hidden gem, and then kind of the 4th, 5th game, as I'm getting more catches and now more people have their eyes on me, they'll see me a little bit differently. Maybe they'll follow me, like me more. But as the season progressed, I feel like I more transitioned from a hidden gem to just a gem in general.
We'll go back to Andre Robinson for a question.
Hey, Andre Robinson, Challenger Community News. Hey, Javon, I know that everybody comes in the NFL with the likes and hopes of starting. With all of your physical attributes, with everything that you possess, are there any teams that you've been looking at to be like, hey, listen, I could come to this team right now and immediately impact this team? Like, put me in, coach.
There's no teams that I've looked at and made that decision. That decision is going to come with whatever team I'm on, going out to everyday practices, like my head's on fire, and working hard, having great practices. And in turn, I think that just will turn into put me in, coach. I'm an early contributor. You can definitely play me.
Once again, we'll have last call for questions.
Hey, is there any NFL players you've been talking to get advice from? I don't know if that question's been asked.
No, it hasn't. There was none I got that I asked to get advice from. The only person that I really talked to was Lance Moore, the receiver trainer at Exos. He gave me a lot of insight, more than I could have thought to ask from anyone else. So I think I got enough just coming from him.
All right, Javon, I think that's all the questions we have, so thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you
Oh,
guys
wait,
for your
hang on.
time. Nope, one more.
There is one more, hang on.
All right.
We'll go to Nick S. Go ahead, Nick.
Hi, Javon. Just wondering if your decision to stay with the program in the world of the transfer portal and how popular that's become, is that a sense of pride? Is that something you kind of sell yourself on when you meet with teams, NFL-wise?
No, not at all. Actually, I never even thought of it as something to be prideful of. My dad did mention it once to me that he was proud to me for sticking it out and staying here when I could have transferred. But the thought of it in that perspective never really occurred to me. This was just the school I wanted to go to, and I knew I was going to stay here and stick it out, no matter what the outcome or the process was. That it?
All right, Javon, I think that is it. So thank you for joining us today.
All right, thank you guys for your time.